Hi, everybody. Here we are, our first book club. Yeah, Karen, it says that your package was delivered to your front door at 13:35, which was what is it, 1:35? Yeah, on the 8th. So that gives me a little bit of a concern. Let me know if you don't find it. If you don't have it, that's very upsetting. Oh, hi, everybody. I'm so excited that we're here. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, because I want your reaction to all the fun stuff in there because it was a surprise. So, how are you guys doing? Did you read the book? Did you get up to chapter 3? I'll find my chapstick. There it is. I really wish I could hear you guys talk. Wouldn't it be much more fun if I could hear you talk? My hair's super puffy. It's all the humidity and the rain and all that stuff. All that good stuff. Can you guys hear me okay? I want to make sure you can hear me. Okay. Awesome. Now, if we were actually all in the same room, I would have a fun charcuterie board and all sorts of book themed snacks. But since we're virtual, I only have me drinking water from a mug that I'm starting to decorate. So what do you think so far? Have you only gotten to, each one of you, have you only gotten to chapter 3 or have you read on further? You only went to chapter 3? Okay. I'm actually on chapter 60 and I had to go back and reread 1 through 3. Yeah, it's a good book. Now I've seen, you read further, yeah. I've seen the movie. Have any of you seen the movie as well? So I'm in my head as I'm reading it, I'm comparing it to the movie. And it kind of threw me a little. Hi, Tammy. That's all right. We'll catch you up. It's fine. You know the book though, Tammy? Are you aware of which one we won't give away anything because the first 3 chapters are just sort of introducing you to the characters. Oh. All right. Well, right now we'll only talk through to chapter 3 and then we'll discuss how far we want to go. I'm figuring 3 chapters is not enough because it's a very quick read for me. Yes. Yes. So I'm going to pull up the questions and I wasn't quite sure how to run a book club. Like I said, when we had one at work, really all we did was got together and had cocktails. So it's out there. Hi, Ruth. Sunat, it's out there somewhere. I can't remember where I watched it. Ruth watched the movie as well. Ruth, you watched the movie, right? I can't remember where I saw it, but I know it's out there. I think it's on Prime. I'm not positive. But anyway, so I downloaded a bunch of questions just so we could talk it through. And a couple of the questions actually made me go back and rethink the book. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm listening to Audible as well. Yep. Gail, was it you I sent the copy? Yeah. I can't remember. I sent a couple of them out. But anyway, all right. So what it says now to do, and you guys, if I'm too dorky, just let me know and we'll just chat any way you want to. But what I did was I got 25 questions just for discussion points, and I've got them up here. So I'll just kind of read through them and we can see how each other responds to it. The first thing is, what was your first impression of Liesel? Like, what feeling did you get from the tone of your first interaction, if you will, with Liesel? Just to give you an example, my first impression was she was scared. She was in upheaval. I mean, she's on a train with her mom and brother, and she's heading somewhere. And to me, she was almost like she was scared. However, she also had the opinion of, well, this is life and I'm going to make it. So, what did you guys think? Yeah, very timid, right? Very timid girl. I almost felt sympathy for her because, she's a kid. At this point, you didn't really realize how young she was. I think she was 10 at the beginning. So, I got that, and I did not expect, like, after, I didn't know where they were going, right? You knew they were on a train and you knew they were headed somewhere, but you didn't realize that she was literally heading to be given away. Like, her and her brother were going to a foster home. And I don't know if they knew that right away, but they knew they were going somewhere, right? So I almost wonder how different her little life would have been. Yeah, right, Gail. So this is almost like a mirror image of the Anne Frank. So this is kind of like, we saw the Anne Frank diary and we knew what they went through. So this is almost like the other side of it, right? So now we're seeing it from a little German girl. And, she had no animosity towards the Jewish people. She had no idea, why that was happening or what was going on. So it was kind of very interesting to see the difference, especially, Gail, in the beginning when the guards were standing there saying, hi, hi, Lisa. We're just starting our discussion. We're just talking about how we feel about Liesel. So, yeah, when I heard the guards, like they were on a train and we heard the guards, you're right. I thought she was a Jewish girl. And it turns out they were just traveling. So I don't know that I realized that the Germans themselves had it so bad. Yes, she was happy. Yeah. So it was kind of like, now we're seeing the other side of the coin. As far as Death being the narrator, that threw me off. Now, Ruth, since you saw the movie as well, I don't remember it being spoken through Death's eyes. Maybe I just blocked that part out, but I don't remember that. So when I started listening to the book and Death himself was narrating the book, that kind of threw me a little bit. So, yeah, I thought that all in the beginning was quite interesting to set the book up. I wasn't quite sure what I was in for. Right. So the perfect human race back then was blonde hair and blue eyes. So she had brown eyes, and that was, as they said, unlucky. So, yeah, let me grab my sweatshirt. I'm a little chilly. Hang on. I took it off because I was cold, and now I'm chilly. Yeah, Ruth, it almost threw me off a little bit. So at first I'm like, who the heck is talking? And then he's like, let me introduce myself and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, all right. So the whole book, spoken through Death's eyes is quite a different concept. Let me see. Well, obviously we knew it was Nazi Germany because it says it in the introduction of the book. So you knew the time period. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Laura, you don't want, and hi, welcome. I thought you weren't going to make it. But the prologue, right, and you'll understand how and why he's the one narrating it throughout the whole book. So it's really cool to see it that way. I was surprised once the brother died on the train. I was like, oh, now what? Are they still going to give her away, this and that? What do you think? And this isn't on the list of questions, I just want to know what you guys think. What was the significance of the first book she found? The Gravedigger's Journal or Handbook or whatever that was called. Obviously that, I don't know if she grabbed it at first just to have a memento of the day her brother died, because she couldn't read at the time, remember? She didn't know how to read. So she literally just saw something on the ground and grabbed it. So in my mind, it was almost like, I just want something to remember my brother by. And she had nothing else, right? She had nothing else to her name, just the clothes she was wearing. So yes, or a memory or a security, right? She wanted something because she was leaving her brother behind. And this was the only thing she had from that day. So let's go ahead. Any of you guys want to, of her mother and her brother? Yes. Right. Right. So it's any of you have any other points that you saw or realizations that you made in these early, even in the prologue and in the beginning, because before you even got to chapter 1, there was a lot. Like Lori said, it set it up that it was death talking, that it was how, I mean, he came right out and said, let's get real, you're all going to die. You know what I mean? So at first I was like, oh, what kind of book am I reading? You know, but I cheated. I had seen the movie, so I knew there was more to it. But yeah, I felt, now I have a question. Like I said, I had questions up here. And one of the questions said, and I might have missed this, but it says, explore the symbolism of Liesel's mother's death and her brother's burial. I didn't know that her mother died. Did I miss that? Because I thought later on in, well, I can't tell you that, but I missed that. Yeah. Yeah. So Gail, it almost had to be. All right. So we'll jump ahead to when she met her foster parents. Right away, you know, Papa was the one that soothed her, the one that put her at ease. And it was almost like it had to be that way because she wasn't with her father on that train. She was with her mother. So her mother had abandoned her. So now she was given to a new mom and a new dad. So she had to forge brand new relationships, right? This poor kid, she's 10 years old. Her brother just died. Her mom just left her. And now these two people are like, okay, we're your parents now. This is your world now. You know, looking at it in my sheltered life, I don't know how these people went through. No matter what side of it you are on, I don't know how these people went through this. The anguish, the loss, the fear, the hunger, so much, thank goodness I have no, experience with. It's very humbling, I guess. So that when you have a bad day, it's like not as bad as that, right? Let me see what else. So what about Rudy? How cute is Rudy? Okay, so now Rudy is the boy that lives next door, and he and Liesel become fast friends, right? It's almost like that typical push the girl down on the playground because you like her kind of thing. He's so funny. And those two are thick as thieves, even in the beginning, It's really cool to watch them, build their relationship, build their friendship, even early on, right? Early on when they're just learning each other. And kids are funny, push her down or hit her with the soccer ball or whatever, That's awesome. That's a great way to look at it and a different insight for all of us, Gail. That's awesome. And Liesel did need him. She did. He was almost like he stepped in for her brother for a little while. Like she needed somebody, a confidant, somebody her own age, that she, you know, she's looking up to these two adults. At least before, she would have had her brother with her, and now she's all by herself. So little Rudy jumps right in there and jumps right in there and steps in as her pal. Um, let's see. Here's a good one. Explore Liesel's fascination with books. Even though she couldn't read, what did it reveal about her character? I think it showed her yearning to do better than where she was. Like she couldn't read, but she wanted those books, and she knew that someday she would be able to read those books. So I think she just took her current situation and said, eventually I can go and be whatever I want to. Oh, nice, Ruth. That's cool. She wants to learn, exactly. So she didn't see the books as something forbidding. Like she didn't look at it and say, I can't do this. She looked at that and said, I want to do this. And her papa saw that and said, you know what? Let's do it together, because he could read a little, but not that much. So I also thought it was really cool how Rudy backed her up with that as well. So in school, she had to be in the younger classes. And Rudy gave her all the encouragement that he didn't care. She was in the younger classes. She was still his friend. So yes, it definitely was to the point where she wanted to learn. And I don't think the stealing of the books, although she did get a thrill out of it, maybe that was also an accomplishment to her. Another thing where somebody put up a wall for her and said, you shouldn't do this or you can't do this. And she was like, but I can. And she did. So yep. So I got that one. Let me see. Trying to the role of friendship with Rudy. Okay, I got that one. Oh, yeah. All right, so let's talk about Max Vandenberg. We all know who Max is, right? And now, do we all know how and who Max was? So Max was actually a throwback from Papa's time in the war. So Max was the son of the gentleman that actually saved Hans Huberman's life. That took me a minute to connect that once. And once they did, I was like, oh, I get it. That's what the accordion, it was Max's father that taught Hans to play. So it's kind of a lesson that shows you one kindness over another and how life hands you back for the kindness. Yes, Gail. So it took me a minute to connect them. You know, it was like, wait a minute, who is this guy? Why does he have this note? Why does he have this key? Why? And it was because when Hans went to Max's mom at the time, he was going to return the accordion. And Max's mom said, no, keep it. Someday you'll repay me. And that's how it happened. So did all of you make that connection? And that's why Hans put Max up. So it was really neat. I thought that was a great twist in it. I got to remember to stick within these because I've gone further in the book and I've got to make sure I'm going to back it up and only read the chapters that we talk about. Yeah, it really did take me a minute to, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's who he is. Because if you think about it, throughout the whole first part, Hans Huberman he wasn't part of the Nazi party. He really didn't take either side of the stance. So for him to take such a big leap and to take a Jewish person into his home and hide him, it was a repayment of a kindness that was done to him many years ago. Because had it not been for Max's dad, Hans would have died in the First World War. So I thought that was a really cool twist in that. All right, so who's analyze the importance of his kindness and compassion in Liesel's. Oh, so let's talk about Liesel's nightmares. So obviously she was very traumatized when she woke up on the train and saw her brother, you know, his blank eyes staring at the floor, you know. And that was also, it alludes to the fact that she actually saw death. She saw him, and she saw him take her brother. So in her nightmares, she keeps seeing that happening, and she keeps wondering why it wasn't her, why it was him. And Papa doesn't care. He just goes and sits with her every night. Every night he goes, he hears the nightmares, he hears her, and the bond that he has with her. And I almost think it's because of the lack of a bond that they had with their own children that the Hubermans embraced Liesel so much. Liesel was so different from their kids that they were like, whoa, look at this kid, you know? And I think they appreciated her for her differences and her strengths as well. Any thoughts? Anybody? Any thoughts on how I'm seeing the book? Am I missing a mark? Am I like, it's very, yeah, it's very neat to see how they, like, even her mama, Rosa, she's so tough. Oh my goodness, she's so hard. But you know what? She's really not. So deep down in, you know, it's the typical mean old lady, you know what I mean? But underneath that, there's that smile when the girl does well, or there's that almost hug when, you know. So I just think, sorry, I was just reading some of the comments just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Reflect on the overall atmosphere and themes established in the early chapters. Speculate on how they might develop through the rest of the novel. So I'll just read through a little bit of what they said, just to go back a little bit because I jumped a little ahead. Liesel Meminger is introduced as a young girl grappling with loss and displacement. Her character shows resilience and curiosity traits that will shape her journey through the novel. We got that, right? We all agreed on that. The prologue sets a somber and reflective tone, hinting at the themes of mortality and the impact of war that will be explored further on in the story. Yes, one would hope, right? Death's perspective as the narrator provides a unique and haunting viewpoint, offering insights into mortality and the human experience from an unconventional angle. And that sort of is exactly what Lori said. Being that it's from Death narrating it is almost important. It's one of the most important parts of setting the stage for the novel. Yes, exactly. Even though, Tammy, even though he is Death and he's supposed to be, you know, this is my job, this is what I do, he still has a soft spot for Liesel in his heart. He has a soft spot for her. So it says the opening scene on the train establishes the harsh realities of Liesel's life and the bleak backdrop of Nazi Germany, setting the stage for her struggles and triumphs. Liesel's mother's death and her brother's burial serve as traumatic events that shape her character and set her on a path of resilience and survival. And that's absolutely true. Liesel's relationship with her foster parents begins tentatively, but the seeds of love and care are evident as Rosa and Hans Huberman provide her with a new home. Liesel's first encounter with death foreshadows the tragedies and the losses she will face, introducing a sense of foreboding to the narrative. Rudy Steiner adds a sense of camaraderie and mischief to Liesel's life, becoming a loyal friend who will accompany her through many adventures. Liesel's journey to Mulching, that's the name of the town, Mulching, highlights the upheaval and displacement experienced by many during the time period, emphasizing the harsh realities of war. Hans Huberman's accordion playing serves as a source of comfort and solace, providing a respite from the harshness of the world from Liesel, or for Liesel. And that's true. She loved to hear him play, and it gave her a lot of comfort. Liesel's fascination with books reveals her thirst for knowledge, her desire to find solace and escape in stories, despite her struggles with literacy. Getting onto the Grave Digger, the book that she stole. Stealing the Grave Digger's Handbook marks a turning point for Liesel, symbolizing her defiance and her willingness to seize opportunities to learn and grow. That's exactly what we said, right? It shows that she wants to learn, that she's going to face all these struggles. She's in a tough time of the world, but she's a tough little kid and she's going to make it. Liesel's illiteracy serves as a barrier to communication and understanding, highlighting the challenges she faces in navigating the world around her. Through Liesel's experiences, we gain the insight into the oppressive regime of Nazi Germany and the fear and uncertainty that permeated daily life for everybody, not just, for one race or another, for everybody. Mark Zukas's, Mark Zuzak's, vivid imaginary and evocative language create a rich and immersive reading experience, drawing readers into Liesel's world. Liesel's relationship with Rosa is initially strained, but deepens over time as Liesel comes to appreciate Rosa's tough love and unwavering support. Like I said, she's that one that, almost gives you the hug, but she can love you without, mawing all over you. Liesel's nightmares and memories serve as haunting reminders of her past, shaping her character and driving her actions. Rudy Steiner becomes a loyal and supportive friend, offering companionship and laughter amidst hardship. Liesel's experience with loss and trauma instill in her a sense of resilience and strength, shaping her perspective on life and her ability to persevere. Exactly, Gail. Because you hear all the stories and the horrific stories of what they went through, but German kids might not have understood, and they were forced to go to these Hitler youth groups, and they were forced to, and a lot of them, they were forced into these things and they didn't know any better, So let's see. Hans Huberman's kindness and compassion provide a stable and nurturing environment for Liesel, offering her a sense of security and belonging. Yeah, Papa was, the first thing he did, he taught her to roll a cigarette, right? But it brought her, I think she was supposed to be getting a bath, and he just sat on the floor. Right. So Liesel's first encounter with Max foreshadows their future connection and the impact he will have on her life. Him in the basement is quite Well, first of all, the change in Rosa when he gets there, she softens quite a bit. You wouldn't think she would have been the one to say, yes, let's let him stay in the basement. That was a surprise for me. I certainly didn't think that she would allow Hans to let him stay. I thought she might be like, oh no, we're not doing that. How about the woman, the neighbor that spits on the front door every day? I mean, there's a lot of little nuances in here that, while they're not major characters, it's still some of the things he uses to build up the story. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you can picture it. It's a street of houses, one after, right? One after the other. And they're all just trying to get through this. But that woman's just crazy. She spits on the door every day. The overall atmosphere and themes established in these early chapters set the stage for a powerful and moving exploration of love, loss, and resilience in the face of adversity. And I would, like I said, I would venture to say that it also gives us a look at the other side. I mean, I didn't realize that they were starving as well. Not obviously not as horribly as, the camps and stuff, but they were rationing everything because, the military was taking everything for them. So it's just very interesting to me to see another side of the story. So that's it for the notes and stuff. So what do you guys, give me some thoughts of what you think is going to happen, what you think might be coming up. Where do you think it's going to go? Where do you think Liesel's going to end up in the next few chapters? Or where do you hope it goes? What do you think, what are you looking forward to seeing in the next few chapters? What would you like to see? I guess that's a good question. Taking a break here. I'm going to write down everybody that was here. So what do you think, guys? Is this fun? I am enjoying this. I always read books, but having someone to talk to, I love it. Yeah. Gail, I think she is a very smart girl. And I think no matter what they make her do or make her see, she's going to have her own opinions, Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I don't think she only sees Max as a Jewish person they're hiding in the basement. I think she sees him as almost like a friend, like a confidant. I know he's a lot older than her, but she sees him as, as not as the enemy or as, hidden. I think she likes she likes learning from him, is it, for lack of anything else. All right. Now, what do you guys think? Rudy is, a boy. He's only 11 right now, but at what age do you know that they sent them? Haha, Ruth. Yeah. Because automatically you're thinking in your head, oh, she's gonna fall in love with Rudy and whatever, but does she? I don't know. Is it the other boy that she beats up on the playground? I don't know. Is it someone completely different? It's going to be very interesting to see, to see how that turns out. Before I ask the next question, has she started bringing the laundry around? Now, remember, I read forward, so I just got to ask you guys, has she started bringing the laundry around for Mama yet? Has she started delivering the laundry by chapter 3, like to the mayor's house? Which, by the way, I learned that Burgermeister means mayor. If I learned nothing else, I learned that. Okay, so she has. All right. So I'm curious to see where the whole relationship with the mayor's wife turns out. The mayor's wife seems really, I don't want to say odd. That's not, maybe interesting. Gotcha. Yes. Okay. So she spent some, okay. So, yeah, I'm interested to see, because not only is she building her main relationships with her mama and papa and Rudy, she's also with other people throughout their town. She's also talking to them and building other relationships with them. So it's going to be interesting to see how she develops those relationships as well. And I'm also interested to see, what happens to Max. How long can you keep someone hidden in your basement? That's going to be very interesting. How does that all turn out? So, because you think about it, what are they are in 1942 right now? So they've got several years to go. So it's going to be interesting to see how long or what happens or how, how that all turns out. So what do you guys think? How many chapters do you think we could read for next week? Like I said, I'm listening on audiobook, so the chapters are going quite quickly. Do you think, so we're on chapter 3, do you think like 10 chapters is too many? Give me a gauge on what you guys are thinking. Because I don't like that I'm just reading too far ahead and then having to go back. I don't want you guys to get to where you're, assigned and then stop. Also, I would like to, if you guys could email me some book suggestions for next month. All right, so you're good with 10? Is everybody good with 10 chapters? Ten sounds good. Okay, perfect. Cool. Yeah, I think that'll be good. That way, we get a little bit more into the meat and potatoes of it. Ruth, good. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I had a few people, actually, one person wrote to me and she said that she heard the book has a sad ending and she didn't want to do it. And I was like, I'm hoping to get all different kinds of books that have all different kinds of endings. So, oh, good. Nice. So yeah, if you could give me a list, you have my email. If you want to email me any books that you'd like to see for our club, like I said, I figure one a month. So, and if it takes us longer to get through the first couple, just because we're feeling out how many chapters, then we'll see. But I think it's going to be a fun journey. And I like I said, I like to share, because I don't have anybody that reads around me. You know what I mean? And Fritz doesn't talk much. So if you guys can give me a list of books, I love talking about it. Like I said, if we were in the same room, we'd have, refreshments and a charcuterie board, because I love that. I would do one like time, like, what would it be? What would it look like if I were setting up what was available here? It would be a little bit of cheese, a little bit of meat, a little bit of bread, kind of fun stuff like that. But for now, we'll just have to have it. What is she looking at? That's fun. So anybody else have any comments on the book? Are you liking it so far? Are you enjoying it so far? Is it becoming a page turner, like, ooh, what's happening next? What's going on next? I feel that with me, I just want to see what's going on. I want to see what else she gets into. I want to see what else is Liesel going to get into, yeah, I think it's pretty good. And like I said, it was listed as a bestseller, so. Actually, Fritz is my dog. My husband, he doesn't, no. Nice. See, I was gonna put some crackers and cheese out, but then I'm like, well, that's rude. I'm not gonna eat on screen. So maybe next time we can all, have a little snicky snack to have with us. Yeah, exactly. That's why, because I'm listening to it in the car. The next thing I know, I look down and it tells me what chapter I'm on. I'm like, ah. So I went back and I read back through to chapter 3, and now I'm gonna just let myself only read the chapters that are assigned. So I don't know. Let me see how many chapters there are. So we are on chapter 3. We're going to be up to 13, and today's the 10th. So we have 1, 2, we'll call it 3 more weeks. So 10, 20, 30. So it's going to take us a little bit longer than a month to do each book. Is that okay with you guys? Or do you want to do a book per month? Because then we might have to do like 20 chapters. It's totally up to you guys. Yeah, it is really interesting. It's totally up to you guys. Let me see how many chapters there are in this book. I'd like to do them every Wednesday, if that's okay. Don't talk, don't talk, don't talk. Here we go. So there are 80 chapters. So I figured if we did a meeting once a week, just do a live, hang out, chat about the book, chat about whatever you want, actually. Chat about the book first. Okay. All right, cool. So we're just going to do probably 10. I mean, because some of the chapters are really short. There's 9 parts to the book, but some of the chapters are only like a 7-minute read or a 9-minute read. So I think you're going to find that 10 chapters might go pretty quick. So we'll go with 10 for this week and we'll see what happens. Like I said, if it stretches into next month, that's fine. That'll give us time to find another book and get us ready for whatever we're going to read next time, right? So let me make sure I have everybody written down. Tammy. All right, cool. Well, I think that's it. You guys, anything else? Any other comments you want to, maybe I should put the book in her hand. I'm sorry, she cracks me up. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have right now on the book. I just, like I said, I read a little too far, so I don't want to talk about things that you guys haven't read yet. But there are a lot of great things coming up. It is a really good, like I said, you can always watch the movie. Let me see real quick. Hold on, don't go anywhere. Let's just see. I know I tried to do this before. The Book Thief. Let's just see where I can do a video. I know I watched it, so let's see. It says it's on YouTube. YouTube movies. All right, it shows a lot of. Watch The Book Thief on Prime Video. So it is also on Prime. Yeah. So that's where that is. But that's just in case you guys want to watch it. So, oh, it got good reviews from Rotten Tomatoes, which, how is that a name of a, well, whatever. I watched it because the girl that plays Liesel is adorable with her little braids, but it was a while ago. So I am still getting caught up on all of that stuff with you guys. So, all right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the rest of your afternoon. Yeah, good. Gail, that's what I suggest, because watching it beforehand, like I said, it threw me off in the beginning. The fact that Death was narrating kind of threw me off in the beginning. I don't know if it was that way in the movie, but I don't remember it. So it wasn't that prominent for me. So there you go. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for making our first meeting of the book club a success. I hope you guys are having fun. I hope we can get a bunch of others to join us. If not, this is fun. I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. And cool. All right. So remember, if you would, please email me a title of a book, hopefully one you haven't read yet. I'd like us all to experience it for the first time together. And I think that would be fun. I picked this book because I had watched the movie, not the book. So I was like, oh, I won't remember. I remember too much. So what I'd like to do is experience a new book I haven't read with everybody. So my mind isn't racing ahead for everybody else. All right. All right, you guys, give me a thumbs up on your way out. Looks like you all have, so I don't need to say that. And I appreciate you. I will see you next Wednesday live for our book club. All right. All right, you guys. Thanks for joining. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.